I am a Filipino, inheritor of a glorious past, hostage to the uncertain future. As such, I must prove equal to a twofold task, the task of performing my responsibility to the past, and the task of performing my obligation to the future. I sprung from a hardy race, child of many generations, removed of ancient Malayan pioneers. Across the centuries, the memory comes rushing back to me, of brown-skinned men putting out to the sea, in ships that were as frail as their hearts were stout. Over the sea I see them come, borne upon the billowing wave and whistling wind, carried upon the mighty swell of hope, and free abundance of new land that there was to be their home and their children's forever. This is the land they sought and found, every inch of shore that their eyes were set upon, every hill and mountain that beckoned to them with a green and purple invitation, every mile of rolling plain that their view encompassed, every river and lake that promised of plentiful living and the fruitfulness of commerce is a hallowed spot to me. By the strength of their hearts and hands, by every right of law, human and divine. This land, in all the appurtenances thereof, the black and fertile soil, the seas and lakes and rivers teeming with fish, the forests with their inexhaustible wealth in wild life of timber, mountains with their bowels swollen with minerals, the whole of this rich and happy land has been, for centuries without number, the land of my fathers. This land I receive in trust then, and in trust will pass it to my children and so on until the world no more. I am a Filipino. In my blood runs the immortal seed of Hero C that flowered down the centuries in deeds of courage of the Fias. In my veins yet pulses the same hot blood that sent Lapu-Lapu to battle against the alien, food that drove Diego Silang and Zaguhoy into rebellion against the foreign oppressor. The seed is immortal. It is the self-same seed that flowered in the heart of Jose Rizal that morning in Bagong Bayan, when a volley of shots put an end to all that was immortal of him and made his spirit deathless forever. The same that flowered in the hearts of Bonifacio and Balintawak, of Gregorio del Pilar at Tyrant Pass, of Antonio Luna at Kalumpit, that bloom of in flowers prostration and the sad heart of Emilio Aguinaldo at Palanan, and yet burst forth royally again, and the proud heart of Manuel L. Quezon when he stood at last on the threshold of ancient Malacanang Palace, in the symbolic act of possession and racial vindication. The seed I bear within me is an immortal seed. It is the mark of my manhood, the symbol of dignity as a human being. Like the seeds that were once buried in the tomb of Tutankhamen many thousand years ago, it shall grow and flower and bear fruit again. It is the ensign of my race, and my generation is but a stage in the unending search of my people for freedom and happiness. I am a Filipino, child of the marriage of the East and West, the East with its languor and mysticism, its passivity and endurance was my mother, and my sire was the West, that come thundering across the seas with the cross in his word in the fascine. I am of the East, an eager participant in its struggle for liberation from the imperialist yoke, but I also know shape of the lethargy that has bound his limbs in his stark morning where destiny awaits. For I too am of the West, and the vigorous peoples of the West have destroyed forever the peace and quiet that one were ours. I can no longer live, being apart from the world now trembles to the roar of bomb and cannon shot. For, for no man and no nation is an island. But a part of the main, there is no longer any East and West, only individual in nations making those three momentous choices that the hour hingers upon, which history resolves. At the vanguard of progress, in this part of the world I stand, a forlorn figure in the eyes of some, but one defeated and lost. For through the thick interlacing branches of habit and custom above me, I have seen the light of the sun. And I know that it is good. I have seen the light of justice and equality and freedom in my heart has been lifted by the vision of democracy, and I shall not rest until my land and my people shall have been blessed by this beyond the power of any man or nation to subvert or destroy. I am a Filipino, and this is my inheritance. What pledge shall I give that I am approved worthy of my inheritance? I shall give the pledge that has come bringing down the corridors of the centuries, and it shall be compounded of the joyous cries of my Malayan forebears when they first saw the contours of this land long before their eyes, of the battle cries that have resounded in every field of combat from Mactan to Tyrant Pass, of the voices of my people when they sing, land of the morning, child of the sun returning. Never shall invaders trample the sacred shore. Out of the lush green of these 7,000 isles, out of the heartstrings of 16 million people all vibrating to one song, I shall weave the mighty fabric of my pledge. Out of the songs of the farmers at sunrise when they go to labor in the fields. Out of the sweat of the hard-fighting pioneers in Malig in Coronadal. Out of the silent endurance of Steve Doors at the fires, and the ominous grumbling of peasant Pampanga. Out of the first cries of babies newly born and the lullabies that mothers sing. Out of the crashing of gears in the wine, of the wine of turbines and the factories. Out of the crunch of flanks upturning the earth, out of the limitless patience of teachers in the classroom and doctors in the clinics. Out of the tram of soldiers marching, I shall make the pattern of my pledge. I am a Filipino, born in freedom, and I shall not rest until freedom shall have been added unto my inheritance, for myself and children's children forever. I am a Filipino by Carlos Romulo. Thank you.